surprisingly a game that come out last year that I was kind of hyped for, but I seen how the predecessor did, so I was kind of nervous. Was the Guardians of the Galaxy? Like I played
Talk about it.
Avengers, and I was like, I was so hyped for Avengers, and then it just turned out to be a real shit show. And then I was like, I'm gonna play Guardians. I didn't expect much, but dude, that may be one of the best games of the year last year, bro.
Yeah.
And I never, you know me, I play games on easy or for beginner.
Mm-hmm.
I was playing it, and Guardians was one of those games that I played on the hardest level, which is surprising because I didn't think it was too difficult. But and you 100% it was finding collectibles, especially with his mask, his shield. I thought it was a phenomenal game. It was fantastic for me, especially coming from a Marvel fan, because we get a lot of crap except for the Spider-Man games. So yeah.
Well, pretty much every superhero game except Batman and Spider-Man. So I'm on board with you because we talked about the Avengers thing. And I can tell you some of the worst things that could happen to me is if I get a code early directly from the developers and I'm like, man, this ain't really that good. So when the Avengers came out, I think our problem, and I think most players' problem was the potential on the game was there in the first 2 hours when they had all the cutscenes and the gameplay. And then after that, it just turned into like weird gameplay where you're like doing capture the flag versus a bunch of like enemies where you have to stand on stuff. And like they really went away from what the superhero video game experience is, because the cinematics and the voice acting is important. I actually was going to skip Guardians. I was going to skip it because, first of all, and you know, a lot of the times you see a game, and we've been playing games long enough, where you see a game, you're like, that's probably not going to be that good. Every now and again, you're wrong. So that's what it was for Guardians. When I seen the reveal, because I was watching the Square Enix event, again, we were doing the live reactions, and I'm like, and this was fresh off the Avengers. So I'm like, I'm not playing that, man. It looks generic. You know what I'm saying? And I'm big in the Marvel, the MCU, so I was really late to that as well. But I've seen every movie, everything that comes out in theaters, all the shows, I've seen all of that stuff. But I'm not necessarily familiar with how the comic books look. So the look of the characters, I was like, why does Drax look like that? And then somebody explained to me that that's more in line with the comics. But I was like, man, I'm not playing that. So I let it, you know what I mean? I'm not getting it. I'm not playing it. I'm not going to try to get an early code because I know what they're doing. Then the game came out, and I'm like, man, whatever. And then it kept getting nominated for stuff. And I started talking to people. They like, yo, I played it, man. You got to play it. And then I bought it. And the game, it's an excellent, well-made game without all the extras. You get on, you play your chapters, you get a little break on your ship, you go to the next chapter. They're not sending you to a table to go level up and get gear over. And I don't think that's for our single-player games. I don't care how they do it. It's just that doesn't work for me. So, yeah.
No, I agree. It was and I also enjoyed how you stayed one player. You didn't switch around, and you had to figure out their new moves. That was one thing that lost me about about the Avengers. So I got used to playing with Captain Marvel. Now I had to get used to playing with Hulk, who was ass. I mean, good God.
Yo, Hulk was so. I like Black Widow the most. Unfortunately, who would have thought? Hulk was he was so buns. Oh my God, I forgot.